quite a while since we played LSU. I think both teams have gotten better. I think both teams have kind of figured out their core group and who they can rely on. So, everyone's going to have scouting reports on, the pitching and the hitters, but, I think it's going to come down to, who's the more talented team and who can play better and, who can compete in a pretty intense environment. So I think it's going to be a fun weekend for both teams.
Troy, you got us? Can't hear you. You got you? All right, we'll come back to Troy, see if we can get his mic fixed. All right, we'll go to we'll go to John Wilkerson next.
Evan, we'll be sure and tell Coach that you did a much better job than he did with today's avail. But I also wanted to know, what was it like in the regional clinching game that you had Will Heflin start and get the win, Sean Hunley get the save, and you record the last out? I know so many guys had a hand in it, but when you look at perhaps the old guard of Vols, that was pretty cool to see so many of the veterans be front and center with such a big moment at Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
Baseball can be poetic. Will Heflin, he's pretty much came out of his shell this season. We knew he was a talented thrower, but for him to do what he's doing after an ACL injury, it's pretty phenomenal to see a guy that has put in a lot of time and dedication into a program get the success and the recognition that he deserves. But to be followed up with Sean Hunley. Both of those guys, they're two peas in a pod. They love each other. They spend a lot of time together, and getting them two together around each other, it's like there's going to be a lot of laughs come along the way. So I thought it was pretty awesome to see both of them get the kind of the 1-2 combo in that victory. And I'm going to keep that ball that I caught for the rest of my life, because that's a pretty cool moment for this program, and I'm excited to see the next step that this program can take.
All right, we're gonna try Troy again. Still having issues, buddy. All right, we'll go to Teresa Walker, and then we'll go to David Pascal.
Hey, Evan, this team has got such a knack this year for coming through with the big hit in the clutch moment. You've had at least one or two yourself this year. What is it? What's the feeling when you go into the bottom of the ninth, Friday night, knowing that you need 4 runs to get the win and finish that game and finish the comeback? What's going on in that dugout, and why are you guys so successful at being able to come back like that?
There was a lot of guys after the game. They said they could feel that we were going to win no matter what. I, for one, was not like that. I was kind of, pressing a little bit, kind of nervous because, I've went through the regional 2 years ago, and I went in the losers bracket in the first game, and it's hard to come out of the losers bracket in a regional. So I knew how important that game was, and being down 3 runs in the last inning was not a good feeling. And it's pretty remarkable to see the at bats that we put in, in such a high pressured situation. Liam Spence, Max Ferguson, and Jake Rucker, for them to start it off and get on base and find ways with, I guess Pete Durkee as well. It was pretty cool to see them be able to be relaxed and go up there with a good approach and find a way to get on base. But it's easy for people to go in those situations and have high emotions and want to be the guy and want to get it done themselves. But it's the people that have success in those moments are the ones that can kind of relax and pretty much treat it like it doesn't really matter. If you can get your body into the phase of being as relaxed as possible and your heart rate to be as low as it can be, those are the people that have success in that moment. And I think Drew Gilbert is probably as high tense as a person can be in a lot of moments in games. But for some reason, whenever it's a big game and a big moment like that, he does a great job of calming himself down and getting in the box and making adjustments pitch to pitch. So I think that we have a lot of guys that go in there and in big moments we can relax. And I think that's why we find a lot of success in those big moments.
Evan, piggybacking on the emotional part of those moments, given the number of walk-offs you've had and how every home run now means more and more, how do you think you guys have handled the celebrations? What constitutes taking something too far? And do you think anything to this point has been taken too far in these big moments?
You know, there's a lot of people on social media that that don't appreciate the way that a couple of our guys have handled success, but man, it's pure emotion out here. You know, you got two teams that are fighting for their lives, basically, fighting for, you know, their programs to stay alive. And, you know, whenever a moment like that takes place, Drew Gilbert will never experience that again. You know, no matter where he's playing in pro ball, you know, what team picks him up, or, you know, even how far they make it next year, he will never experience that moment again. And there's a lot of people that will never experience that moment. So it is pure emotion. And I think that's what makes this game much different than, you know, professional, because these are college kids and these are 19, 20-year-old kids that are basically, you know, a year ago didn't know where their fit was going to be. You know, they were trying to figure out if they were going to be able to be on the team or, you know, fight for a spot. And I remember Drew Gilbert fighting for a spot last year. And, you know, as talented as he is, he was not given anything. You know, he's had to work for it. And, you know, these kids, including myself, we work and we put in a lot of time to get those moments. And a lot of the times those moments we fail. So whenever we find success in those big moments, it is pure emotion. And, you know, even if I'm on the other side of the dugout, you can appreciate that if that does happen for someone, yeah, they have the right to celebrate. And, you know, I think that's what makes the fan base so good. I think that's what makes the competition so good in college baseball, is that these kids are really into the game and they really want to succeed. And when they do, they let everyone know.
All right, Troy, you want to give this another shot?
Let's do it. We're working
All
now.
right, we gotcha. Yep.
All right. Third time's the charm. Hey, Evan, I just wanted to ask you about what you remember about facing Landon Marceau, Jaden Hill, and AJ Labas in that first series against LSU.
You know, the LSU staff, it's a pretty talented staff. You know, Marceau, he's legit. You know, he reminds me of Garrett Stallings a couple of years ago. He commands his pitches. He's a true competitor, and you know, the numbers speak for themselves. He's a true Friday night guy in this conference, and if you're a Friday night guy in this conference, you're pretty talented. So these guys are going to be wanting to win. We know they've got a bad taste in their mouth from the last time they came here, because it was a close series. You know, and I think it's going to be two teams that are going to be competing and trying to fight and trying to win this game and win this series. So I do think both teams have improved, and I think, you know, starting with Marceau, I think he's going to come in and try to shut us down. So I think it's going to be a good battle.
All right, we'll go to Wes next and then back to Ben.
Yeah, Evan, I was going to ask a little bit sort of about what David asked earlier. It seems like not just fans on social media, because they're always going to be upset if somebody, you know, celebrates a walk-off or something. That's just how it is. But even a couple of coaches this year have come out and said some stuff about maybe the way y'all compete or how chippy things get. Do you think maybe part of that comes from y'all kind of coming from where you came from as a program, just trying to feel like, you know, you got to scratch, you got to claw, you got to compete to get from where y'all were a few years ago to where you are now?
You know, a couple of years ago, there were teams coming in our place, and, you know, they would let us know that they were better than us. And there was no fear whenever they came to our place, and, you know, and not just fear, there was no respect. And, you know, I think that definitely leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And that's kind of why I'm a little chippy at sometimes, but, you know, it takes a lot to earn respect in this league. And if you don't have respect, it does leave you a little frustrated. And, you know, it's kept a lot of people up at night in this program when we don't have respect from teams and they think they can come in and, you know, pretty much take over our field. So I think the times have changed. I think we've got a little we kind of brought our big brothers along to the playground to take control and help us out in the fight. So, I think it's time for Tennessee to step up to the fight. And I don't think anybody, including our fan base, are afraid to be the villains. So I think that I think that's what makes this play special, is that starting with our coaching staff and our players, we enjoy getting in a fight, and we enjoy the close games, and we enjoy the competition.
Evan, in baseball, do you think there's a clear-cut advantage when facing a second team or a team for a second time in a season, whether it's pitching or hitting? Do you think there's a clear-cut advantage one way or the other?
I do think you can get an advantage in those certain moments, because I'm sure the pitching coaches will know the scouting reports on our players, and I think it will be the same for us. But I think it's going to come down to who can adjust in the game, and who can find ways to scratch across some runs. And I think it's going to come down to who can play better defense. And I think these are going to be close games. I don't see either team really running away with this series. But that's something that you expect in a super regional. There's a reason why LSU is coming here. They're very talented. They went into Oregon and they handled business. But that was to be expected from this conference, because playing in this conference, you get accustomed to competing and being in big moments, and the more big moments that you're in, the better you learn from them.
All right, we got time for two more guys. I get Evan over to practice, so we'll go to Rick Russo, and then we'll finish with Trey Wallace.
Hey, Evan, talked to Luke Hochaver yesterday, and he's pumped. And what does it mean to you guys, alum and players from all different eras, really excited about what you guys are doing?
It really does mean a lot. In a couple of years, whenever I come back here, I don't want it to see, the program going in the wrong direction. So it is exciting to see other alumni be able to have some respect and be proud of what we've done. But, I think that Luke Hochaver and even Chris Burke and guys like that, they deserve to come back and be proud of what we're doing. And, I think it's, after the season is over, no matter what happens, I think we can kind of have a little smile on our face that, we are building something, and there is something that's happening in Knoxville that we can be proud of. So I think it is nice to have the alumni that come back and be excited for, what this program is turning into. And, I hope that we are doing them proud. So.
Evan, you might have already kind of answered this question in the past couple of weeks, but I wanted to ask it again, coming off Tony Vitello's celebration this past weekend. What does it mean to a team, to you guys, to see the excitement out of him? I know you guys are around him every day, but to see him go into the crowd and react with the fans and running out to you guys and tumbling towards y'all, and just the excitement that the coaching staff has, what does that mean to you guys overall as players looking up to him?
I do want to coach at this level one day, and seeing a guy like that have such an impact on his team and the community, it's pretty awesome, because that dude, talking about pure emotion, that dude has got it. That dude wants to win, and he wants to win here. And I think it's exciting to see a college coach do things that not many other college coaches do. And personally, I think it works. I think there's a lot of people that, watch the way he coaches and even recruits, and they're like, yeah, I want to play for that guy, because if I was a high recruit, that's the guy I would want to play for. A guy that wants to win, and you can tell he's got our backs in any moment. He was just as happy. And for him to be as the first one out of the dugout on Drew Gilbert's walk-off homer, I think that shows that he's not afraid to show who he really is. He's not afraid of, showing everyone in national television, the guy that he is, and, how much this really means to him. And, I do think that works. And, I like to look at it on a point of view of, I'm a player, and I see that it does work. And, you know, if I am a coach one day, that's how I would do it. And I think it's pretty awesome to see a guy just show his emotions and show his passion about winning as much as he does.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Evan. Appreciate your time, man.
Thank y'all.